Bryan Danielson was injured in the main event of last night's Forbidden Door. We also take a look at what happened when Forbidden Door went off the air. And we have an update on Adam Cole following his scrapped match last night. More on that in this video. Hello everyone, it's Jack and Ross post Forbidden Door AEW X NJPW Forbidden Door. An action-packed night, quite a few surprises here and there, but I think the biggest news coming out of the press conference is that Bryan Danielson revealed sadly that he suffered an injury during that main event.
Yeah, he says, we think I fractured my right forearm with about 10 minutes left to go in this match. We think it'd be 6 to 8 weeks for a recovery period of time. Danielson said the arm break happened during an elbow drop. It was just a freak accident, and it's not always the Tiger drivers, though it can be. Tonight, it was the elbow drop.
Yeah, that's quite... I mean, obviously 6 to 8 weeks, it could have been far worse, but it's never nice to hear about somebody getting injured, especially someone with the injury history of Bryan Danielson. But he seems quite calm about it,
yeah,
which I wouldn't be if I'd fractured my arm.
I know, but I guess the way he's been used recently, it's like he knows he can stay on TV, fulfilling the William Regal role on commentary and being the mouthpiece of the BCC. He said he realised, he says, like, it was broken. He says, you can stop or you can go.
Wasn't there that time once where he was kicking off with Triple H backstage in WWE for stopping a match?
He wanted to keep going, but Triple H was like, stop. But then Bryan Danielson was like, well, you're Triple H, your leg fell off once.
Yeah, you did that, famously. Apparently, though, Bryan is not done with Okada. Excuse me, saying that he was looking forward to this match since when he was in WWE, and said that he wants to wrestle him again and maybe break his arm. Whoa.
It's an arm for an arm. It's how it goes in wrestling. It's called a receipt.
He also says that Okada's title of the greatest wrestler of his generation is still up for debate. It's not only Okada he's after as well. He saw the BCC versus the Elite match and really wants to fight Ishii, who had a key role in that match as well.
Who had a key role, a key hole, I think he might have fallen into, because Takeshita thwacked him in the head.
He did.
And it appeared that he knocked him out for realsies. So that's all right.
But then Ishii also finished the match and I think got the decisive pinfall as well. So fair play to him. Bryan also was a big fan of the live crowd. This is continuing what he said at the press conference, saying the crowd was so hot we could have pulled our pants down and everyone would have loved it.
Of course they would have.
Yeah, woo.
Get to see more winkies, eh?
He was asked also if using the final countdown, which we'll talk about in a bit as well, was just going to be a one-time thing or if this would be his new theme going forward, but he said that was a question for Tony Khan because they want $1 zillion per play. And Tony Khan later confirmed that the final countdown was about as expensive as a wrestler's contract for the show, so about $30 and a hot dog.
See what he's done there.
It's a one-time deal, but he says he might be able to get it done for singular events again in the future, but he kind of said wait and see. But yeah, they got that song to play again after it went off the air. Bryan cut a bit of a promo as well, Ross, after Forbidden Door went off the air.
He did. He took that microphone after that submission went over Okada, and he wanted to celebrate having his Ring of Honor theme once again. He said, this is just a moment for me to speak genuinely from my heart. I just want to say thank you to every single person here. You guys have been an incredible audience for over 5 hours. I honestly cannot remember a better crowd than you guys. It's Toronto.
Yeah.
It's bizarro land. What more does he expect?
Well, he also said that he'd like to thank New Japan Pro Wrestling. He doesn't know how they do it, but year after year they produce the greatest wrestlers in the world, and he couldn't fathom a better partner than Okada, contradicting what he said in his heelish press conference, where he said that Okada's title for greatest wrestler in the world is up for debate.
Wrestling's not even real anymore.
He also said, I can get, this is again in the dark segment promo, I can get a little bit selfish. I legitimately haven't listened to Final Countdown since 2009, so given that I just won the main event, let's hear Final Countdown one more time.
He hasn't been to a single wedding since 2009. I find that staggering, considering he himself was married during that period of time.
Surely at his own wedding they would have played.
It's a wedding song, is it not? It's a dance floor filler.
Something, so yeah, it's one of those ones. Also, Tony Khan spoke a little bit about the use of the final countdown in his press conference, saying basically kind of confirming what Bryan said, which is that it was expensive and they're not going to use it permanently going forwards as Bryan's theme, but that they, I think if I understand this rightly, he said they own the rights for this event for it, so people can go back and watch it and it won't be dubbed over with a new theme. It'll always be the final countdown when you go back and watch Forbidden Door 2023. He also said the same for when the Guns used 50 Cent's Many Men.
Oh, they've got to get that back full time. We've seen that taken over Twitter this weekend because they haven't had it back. The camera shot with the guns in the water spitting.
The mist, that was really good. So, but he said that's the same for now. When you go back and watch that FTR versus Guns tag title match, you'll still get that same entrance, but it's not going to be their permanent theme going forwards. But Tony seemed kind of keen to get certainly the final countdown back in the future at some point, saying that it added to a lot, even though it might seem like a small one-time thing. It was certainly worth it.
Yeah, well, it does. Wrestlers' entrance themes just sets the tone, doesn't it? When they're just a nameless sort of like, faceless, just generic bollocks. You don't really get you pumped, does it, for the match coming up next?
No, I get it as well.
Yeah.
One match that didn't happen on last night's Forbidden Door was Adam Cole versus Filthy Tom Lawler. This was said to be due to an illness, which Tony Khan himself tweeted before the show, saying, due to illness, Adam Cole isn't cleared tonight. Therefore, the Adam Cole versus Filthy Tom Lawler match is cancelled. Despite the change, tonight will be an amazing show.
Fightful selective added to this story by saying, we're told there's been concern Adam Cole was banged up after his match with MJF on Dynamite a little while ago, but he's still expected to appear on TV. He's actually out tonight with an illness. There was consideration of having Tom Lawler face someone else on the Forbidden Door main show, but it didn't end up happening. Serpentico versus Tom Lawler was a dark match before the show, with Lawler winning. That was a very last-second decision.
Always bring your gear.
Exactly.
Serpentico. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he left, didn't he?
I don't know, I don't know.
Oh.
Grayson was there on the pre-show as well.
Grayson came back though, didn't he?
Grayson did come back.
He's in the Dark Order once more.
No, they were new weird lads. He was with Vinny Marsaglia, the weird lads.
Oh.
He was with the weird lads. If you watch the pre-show...
You remember it was like maybe 2 or 3 months ago now, and they had that show in Canada and he was there.
No, now he's with weird lads. They wear all white and they come down to such weird theme music and go like, oh, it's so bizarre. I can't explain it. Wait until you see the pre-show. During the press conference, Tony Khan also addressed that Adam Cole arrived at the building with a fever and it's believed he may have the flu. It's classic football management, this. In order to prevent anyone else on the team from getting sick, he was sent home to recover.
Neil Warnock.
Yes, and that's fair enough. What else was I going to say about... Oh, yeah, so the news there basically is Fightful's update that Adam Cole is banged up as well. So we knew he was sick because of Tony Khan's tweet before the show, but apparently he's also banged up following that match with MJF. But as you said, is still expected to be at weekly TV. So hopefully, I think he's all right, probably.
Well, how many promo battles going forward? It's a bit weird, the sort of stance of taking with Adam Cole being like, oh, I didn't win that match that I had to win. Therefore, MJF want another shot at you, even though you didn't lose that match. You had to lose for me to get a title shot. But so we'll have to see how that develops going forward.
But he had him beat.
But he didn't beat him, which is the one thing he had to do.
He had him beat as the time ran out, Ross.
What's MJF meant to do?
I don't know.
5 more minutes isn't on the table.
We've got pitches later on this week, haven't we?
Tomorrow, Tuesday, for Money in the Bank. It's Money in the Bank week, so the Cultaholic Wrestling podcast. It'll be recorded Wednesday, but published on Friday because of another anniversary, which is on Thursday, which is preventing the Cultaholic Wrestling podcast going live on Thursday. Yeah. Then we'll have all the coverage from London over the weekend there. So yes, it's a busy bloody week here at Cultaholic Wrestling.
That video on Thursday is kind of a special video essay kind of video going out that coincides with a mystery anniversary in the wrestling world.
Get your calendars out and see if you can work it out.
Pitches tomorrow. But going out on Wednesday, did you say?
No. Pitches tomorrow, out tomorrow.
Going out tomorrow for Money in the Bank.
Podcast recorded Wednesday, out Friday.
Out Friday. All the coverage of Money in the Bank that you'd expect over the weekend as well. Have you got Twitch as well?
Oh, no, not this week.
I will be twitching with Owen Mawson, twitch.tv/Cultaholic. We are taking control once again of Cultaholic FC. Last week Owen was devastated. Like we sold a player. I've learned that Owen's favourite thing in Football Manager, which is fair enough, isn't the games, it's the transfer window and the buying and selling of players. We sold a player and then the game crashed. And we had to start again from like a few days before, and the player wasn't sold, and the energy was just sucked out of the street. Like he was just devastated. He was like, "Well, we've not sold him now." That's not even buying a new player. That's selling one.
I don't know how to reconcile with that.
We managed to sell him again. He was fine, but
at least no one got his man.
Gone. That's the thing. He wasn't even. He's a loyal servant of the club as well.
Just a vindictive manager, is Owen Mawson.
He's been there for seasons and seasons.
So end the video.
There. Yeah. Thanks very much for watching. We'll be back with more news later on today. Apologies if either of our respective hay fevers has interfered with the quality of this video, because I can't see out of one eye.
Me neither. It's so watery.
And we'll see you very soon.